beta almost over, I decided it was time to start reflecting on the games that I've played, the experiences I've had, and I'm going to go right out on a limb here and say it was a good beta, but it could have been better. Let's start off with some of the good things. The first thing I noticed was the game modes. On release we had Conquest and Domination. I thought that was a really good choice. It varied in game size, game speed, ticket count, everything you can imagine. The two game modes are completely opposite, apart from the one objective, to keep all those flags. I think it was a really good decision by DICE to bring Conquest Domination forward from Battlefield 3 to BF4. It had quite a following, and I have to say it was a really popular game mode in the Close Quarters DLC. The fast-paced action, the constant killing, the meat grinder as we like to call it, is something that was present in Battlefield 3, and whether you like it or not, it was a very popular game type, so it's something that's going to be staying in Battlefield 4, and for me personally, I kind of enjoy it. I'm able to grind out a weapon, I'm able to grind out all the attachments, get XP. On those double XP weekends, I can see this map being a real hotspot. Number 2, it's not Battlefield 3.5. A lot of people thought it was just literally going to be Battlefield 3 improved, but I have to say, based on the games that I've actually played and the new mechanics that are in place, I feel that the whole game is much more than Battlefield 3 and is a real step forward. Some of the smaller things, like double clicking on the minimap to spawn in, I found that a really good thing. The ability to click anywhere on the minimap, not just on people's names and choose from a list. It's an interactive minimap to spawn in. Something like that, for me, is something that I really appreciated, because in Battlefield 3 it infuriated me that I couldn't do that. Another small change, but one that's definitely welcome, is the ability to shoot somebody while you're in the water. You can now use your secondary weapon. That's something I really did appreciate, and countless times I've actually used it in game as well, because I didn't think it was going to be that important to gameplay. But now no longer can you swim up to somebody and simply look at them. You can indeed shoot them, and that's something that I really appreciated. It's not just the smaller things that make it Battlefield 4, it's the bigger things as well, like the fact that you now have to really think about the ammunition that you're using in a vehicle, because now it's limited. It's something I noticed in the chat section on PC specifically. People were always complaining, oh, all my ammo's gone out of my vehicle now, I can't shoot, and then they got shot and killed. That's the main point of it. You now cannot go on massive streaks if you completely just spam all your ammo. And it's something that you don't appreciate until you realise it's not happening. And that took about 4 or 5 days for me. I noticed that nobody was hammering down missiles on top of me or raining tank shells down on me. It was quite a good feeling, and I have to say it's a major change. It's something that I feel is going to be a really big game point in Battlefield 4. For somebody that constantly uses vehicles, it's going to be a massive change, because they're going to have to really think about who they're shooting at, what targets they're going to be allocating. They can't just literally go on a massive 200 kill heli streak anymore. Class balance is another thing that I think they've worked on really well, and that showed in the beta. The fact that the recon class now actually has some relevance in the game and actually has some power behind it as well with zeroing. I found that really helpful, especially when the tower comes down on Conquest or Obliteration. You can't really see through all that dust to the top of the tower, so get out your PLD, you can see right through that, zero your sniper, and you can take them out with headshots across the map. I found that was really helpful. Having said that though, sniping in Battlefield 4, for me at least, does feel a little bit harder than what it was in Battlefield 3. There's kind of a few things that I can attribute it to. I think the snipers feel a little bit heavier than what they did, and the whole control system feels a little bit more clunky, and I think that's good, because again it requires more skill to now actually play that class rather than just no-scoping 360 headshot people from about 10 feet away. You actually have to use the weapon as if it's supposed to be used as a sniper rifle. The effects of Suppression have been completely nerfed. I've noticed the support class is extremely suppression heavy, as opposed to the other classes where it takes about 2 or 3 seconds of constant gunfire to put you under suppression, which basically completely eliminates suppression from the recon class unless you've got 3 guys firing a sniper rifle at you at exactly the same time. So for me it makes gunplay more satisfying knowing that if I actually win the gunfight, it's because I was the better shot, rather than the fact that this weird suppression effect was actually winning it for me or losing it for me. Now moving on to some of the things that I think need a little bit of work in the final game, and the first one, and perhaps my most major gripe, is the Domination spawn system is horrifically broken at the moment. This was something that I noticed on day one, and I knew it was going to get fixed for the final game, but I think it still needs highlighting. It is so bad. It's like Noshar Canal's 64-man TDM, it's that bad. Literally, it will spawn you next to an enemy and expect you to just carry on. Of course, the enemy will just turn around and shoot you. I can't tell you how many times I've been spawned onto the map in places that I don't want to be spawned in. And because of that, I go on a 5 or 6 death streak. It's simply annoying, but I know it's going to get fixed for the final game. Hopefully. Another thing that I found quite frustrating, the knife animations. I feel they take too long, and they don't give you the kill until you finish the animation. You might have actually stabbed the guy 3 times with that animation, because there is one that you can do that with, but you don't get the kill until you've actually let go of the player and the animation is complete. So the whole point of the animation is there simply obviously to make the game look good, but I feel that you should actually get the kill after the first knife stab actually goes into the body, so it's confirmed that you get the kill. I know that nobody can actually shoot you while you're in the animation, either the person that's being stabbed or the one that's stabbing them. Neither can actually be shot at the moment, so it makes sense that you can put the kill anywhere. But for authenticity reasons, I'd rather it was in the middle of the animation when you actually stab someone, rather than at the end of the animation. Adding to that, I also think counter-knifing is far too easy. A lot of people have been suggesting that the button of which you need to use to counter-knife someone should be a random button on your keyboard or controller, and I completely agree with that. It's far too easy for me to just simply reach across and hit F and counter-knife somebody. It shouldn't be that easy. It should be a little bit harder, it should be by chance or luck or whatever it happens to be. It just needs to be changed so it's not so easy to kill somebody by counter-knifing them. Moving on to the weapon balancing, this is something that I actually thought was really good for the beta. They've done a really good job with the weapon balancing. There are still a few niggles that I wanted to bring up though. The AK-12 is becoming the go-to gun for the beta already. It's without a doubt one of the easiest guns to use, and I think that's due to the fact that it's got virtually no recoil and a nice low rate of fire. Now those things do go together, but I think there should be a slightly higher penalty on the recoil, because if you look at the MX4 Storm, that thing has quite a high rate of fire but jumps around all over the place, yet right down on the other end of the scale you've got the AK-12 and it virtually does nothing. So perhaps the recoil for the lower end guns just needs a slight bit more in order to make it less appealing to use the gun all the time, because I can see it becoming the M16 of Battlefield 4 if we carry on going at the rate that we're going. The XM25 needs some nerfing and some buffing at the same time. I think it needs some nerfing for when its actual shots hit targets, because sometimes if it hits you directly, obviously it's going to kill you. But I feel that over cover, it needs a bit of buffing, because it can take up to 4 shots to actually kill somebody behind cover, and you've only got 5 in a clip, so I think it should take at maximum 3, because otherwise you're just going to waste all of your ammo on one bit of target. Going the other way with the XM25, it's able to take out those bulletproof shutters that come down in one shot, but it takes about 3 shots to break down a wall, so I don't really know how that works. I think you need to balance that a little bit more, DICE. And my one final gripe, and it's something that really gets on my nerves, but I think I'm going to have to get used to it, is the HUD. It's so obtrusive in this game, it's unbelievable. I can't stand it. The bomb is far too big in obliteration mode on your screen. The fact that it's in the mini-map all the time when you've got it is hard enough, but the fact that when you're trying to shoot the guy who's got it, the bomb icon is in front of him, so it's hard to know where to actually shoot in order to drop him quicker. If I'm going for a headshot and there's a massive bomb icon all over the person, it's really hard for me to see where I'm trying to shoot. So for me, I'd really want the HUD to be scaled down a bit, but I can't really see that happening. But enough of my likes and dislikes. What did you think of the Battlefield 4 beta? Make sure you leave all your comments down below, guys. I do try and read as many as I can. But that's the end of the video as well, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Likes and comments, as I've already said, are always appreciated. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.